Greetings. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'll show you a supernatural horror film from 2007 called Dead Silence. So without further ado, let's recap this. This movie starts out with Jamie and his wife Lisa receiving an anonymous package in the mail. They decide that the only way to find out who it is from is to open it up. When they open it, they find a ventriloquist doll. Later on, after Jamie leaves their residence to pick their carry-out dinner order, Lisa hears it get dead silent, then starts to hear voices coming from the room where they left the doll. She creeps in there slowly, pulls back the sheet that they had used to cover up the doll, and the doll murders Lisa. After Jamie, now the prime suspect in his wife's murder, gets interrogated by the police, he returns home to look for clues. He finds a clue in the box that leads him to his hometown, also the hometown of murdered ventriloquist, Mary Shaw. Returning to Raven's Fair, Jamie visits his estranged, wealthy and wheelchair-bound father, Edward, and his much younger wife, Ella, for information regarding Mary Shaw. Dismissing them as superstitions, Jamie arranges for Lisa's funeral with the help of a local mortician named Henry Walker. Henry's senile wife, Marion, warns Jamie that Mary Shaw's spirit is dangerous and vehemently urges him to bury Billy. Jamie decides to go at the cemetery in the middle of the night to do so. After a few minutes of searching, he finds a headstone with Billy on it and starts digging. He pulls out the casket only to find it empty, throws the doll in, who then looks right at him, and buries the doll. Shortly afterward is confronted by Detective Lipton in his motel room, the latter still doubting Jamie, after returning from the cemetery where Mary Shaw and the rest of her dummies are buried, and having brought Billy with him. The next morning, Jamie gets the doll back and heads over to the Henry and Marion's house to talk to them. Henry tells Jamie that Mary Shaw was a famous and popular ventriloquist who was publicly humiliated when a young boy named Michael rudely claimed that he could see her lips moving during one of her performances. Some weeks later, Michael disappeared and his family blamed it on Mary Shaw and lynched her. Mary's last wish was to have her body turned into a dummy and buried with her 101 dolls. Henry, then the young son of the local mortician, saw Shaw rise up, but was spared thanks to keeping his mouth shut, because Mary takes her revenge by killing only those who scream. Jamie then finds out that Michael, who was indeed murdered by Mary Shaw, was his great-uncle. As part of their lynching of Mary, the Ashen family forced her to scream and permanently silenced her by cutting her tongue out. As such, she has since been seeking revenge against their entire bloodline by killing them using the same method. Meanwhile, Mary Shaw kills Henry Walker by luring him into the crawlspace, locking him in there and stealing out his tongue. Detective Lipton then discovers that all of Mary Shaw's dolls have been dug up and informs Jamie, who receives a call from the recently deceased Henry, asking him to go to Shaw's theater, as he has a way to prove Jamie's innocence. Of course, this is another trick from Mary, who tries to lure him to her. There, both Jamie and Lipton discover 100 of the dolls lined up in their massive display case, along with Michael's body, which has been turned into a marionette. Through a clown doll, Mary reveals to Jamie that she killed Lisa because, unbeknownst to Jamie, she was pregnant with his son, thereby killing any potential newborn of the Ashen family. Jamie and Lipton then burn the theater and all of Shaw's dolls, though in the process, Lipton falls and screams, causing him to be killed by Mary. Back at his father's residence, Jamie is confronted by Mary, but he repels her by throwing Billy, the 101st and last doll, into the fireplace. He then learns, much to his horror, that his father had already died long ago. The current Edward is actually a doll converted from his corpse and controlled by Ella, who it turns out is the perfect doll that Mary Shaw created just before her death. Jamie then screams in terror as Ella, possessed by Mary, lunges forward and kills him. The film ends with Jamie reciting a nursery rhyme about Shaw while a photo album with human puppets is shown: Lisa, Henry, Detective Lipton, Edward, Ella, and Jamie himself. And that was it. Did you like it? Have you seen this movie before, or are you planning to watch it now? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next movie recaps. See you on the next one. Bye.